It's showtime, folks. Enjoy the show.
Hello, everybody. It's the Saturday Matinee. Ho, ho, ho. Do you hear that? It's thematically appropriate for the season. I'm Pete Wright, and I'm here with, oh, look, it's old, not yet gray enough Santa himself, Kyle.
Ho, ho, ho?
And I wish everybody could actually see this show because it's Tom with his really sad dog behind him. Foster's in a cone, and if he sits just right, it looks like Tom's wearing it on his head.
We've been trying to figure that out. No, you have to stay in this room.
The cone of
God,
shame.
He's having a rough time
He's
of it.
trying to
Well,
play
it
with
is
it.
the Saturday Matinee right now, and we're doing it, and I'm very excited about it. Can we talk about what you're watching right now, Tom? You first.
Oh, what I've seen. Yes, I've seen two movies.
Ooh.
I saw She Said, which I think we talked about already. So I saw She Said, which I really liked, even though it's mainly just a movie about people answering the phone. And then I just saw Bones and All, which
tell me everything.
loved.
Really?
I don't know anything about that one. Tell me about it.
Timothy Chalamet's newest movie, and also starring the lead female actress from the Escape Room movies. I don't know her name. I'm so sorry. But it's directed by the guy that did Call Me By Your Name. And it's like it's like a YA romance / horror film, where it's like two young lovers that sort of meet, but they're also cannibals. So it's beautiful, and it has a very dreamy kind of Call Me By Your Name sense, and then it has some legitimately really, really gross stuff in it. So it's really interesting, and I loved it. I completely loved it. Yeah, so Bones and All, I highly recommend it. I mean, it's weird and crazy, but it's really kind of beautiful.
Bones and All. All right. Bones and All on the list. And that was Taylor Russell.
That's
who we
right.
love so much from the Escape Room movies, which are amazing.
Yes, I still love them.
Kyle, what do you got?
Well, I watched this streaming thing about a girl who has a supernatural thing, and one of her parents was a member of a secluded school, and so now she is a legacy, so she's going to this school, and so as she gets there, she finds that has full of vampires and werewolves and gorgons, and there's a mystery that's going on about a former student who is angry and coming back and trying to sort of take revenge on the people there. And of course, I'm talking about Monster High the movie, streaming on Paramount Plus.
Of course,
because
I was
watched
like,
that with my daughter, and she really liked it. And then I watched Wednesday on Netflix and went, this is the same thing. It's literally the same story, but there's a lot less singing.
Right.
Oh, so it's like it's a legit musical, is what you're saying?
It's a full on like with
real
with
musical
actors. Like, I mean, it is like in the High School Musical, except that they're also brightly colored vampires and werewolves and mummies and things dancing around. It's pretty good. Like, in terms of a lot of the kid shows that I'm forced to watch, I really enjoyed it. But it was amazing to me that I watched this big budget, everybody's talking about thing, and I'm like, this is literally the same plot. It's like there's even like the same scene of like, let's walk through the quad, and like, those are where the vampires sit, those are where the werewolves sit. I'm like, and they go, and this is where the gorgons is, careful, they can turn you to stone. And like, they all are wearing slouch hats, and I'm like, that's exactly what they are in Monster High. Like, they literally are like almost to the costume design the same, except Tim Burton loves his black and white, so everything is either stripes or now he actually has added in squares now, so his repertoire is good. But that being said, I really have enjoyed Wednesday. Like, I went through the whole thing, and it's actually a really good mystery. It is extreme. The special effects are fantastic. The acting is really good. The scene stealer of that is the dude who plays Thing. Like, that guy is amazing. Like, the amount of expression he can get with just his hand. He can show like happy or annoyed, or even he found a way to make his hand shrug. Like, give that man an honorary Oscar. It is an Emmy or whatever you get for streaming show. It's amazing. Like, the amount of emotion he can convey with just his hand. It's astounding.
I haven't watched a single episode of it yet, and it's on my list, like high on my list. But
I find it's a little misbegotten because the whole premise of the Addams Family was that they're weird in a normal world.
Yeah.
But as soon as you take them and put them against
In a weird
werewolves and
world.
vampires and these giant creatures, Wednesday becomes the normal one.
Oh, interesting.
Wow.
It's like, oh, okay. They're like, and also she has powers now too. I find it a little strange. I'm like, this is so far away from the original thing. But I found the less you thought about Addams Family, the better it was.
Okay.
Got it. Okay.
But yeah, as a full-on supernatural mystery, go for it.
I've heard nothing but good things about it, and that Jenna Ortega is superb.
Yes, she is, and the fact that she's not Wednesday is 16, or she's 15 and then turned 16 in the course of the show. I know she's older than that, but she's to have a young girl to be able to carry a show, and like not everybody could do that. So like the Herculean work that she's doing here, and also having to not express, like that is another level of that. Like not only are you the lead and the title character, but you have to react without reacting. You have to emote without emoting. That's a lot to ask for a young actor, and she's amazing.
I saw an interview with her where she did one take of something without blinking, and the director said, "Oh, that's good. Do that from now on."
Yeah.
And so she like just doesn't blink or something like that. Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds like a Tim Burton direction, right?
It's super timely that as we talk about this, the trailer this week for Scream 6 dropped, and I know none of us talked about it, but Jenna Ortega is in it, and it looks to be exactly the opposite of everything she's doing in Wednesday. Like it's blink a lot and scream. So it's good that she gets to balance stuff out. That's really good. So
yeah,
that looks like it's good.
That trailer was actually pretty good. It's a teaser.
But it's a good one. It's creepy.
Nice, Jason Takes Manhattan vibes.
Yeah, we get to go to the big city, scream in the big city. Yeah, love it. I need to settle old debts.
Oh no.
And it's with you, Kyle.
No.
I watched this week a movie that you picked as a trailer pick.
Okay.
Recently, and I watched it with my son, and it is Darby and the Dead.
Oh, okay. I haven't had a chance to watch it.
You haven't had a chance to watch it?
No.
It's exactly an after-school special. Like, it is... It's very cute. It's so not made for me, but everybody's very charismatic and super adorable, and also Tony Danza is in it.
Oh,
and so
he's the boss.
Like, he is the boss. He's I'm just going to tell you, he's dead, and he's a ghost who plays a lot of chess. And so there's Tony Danza, the ghost playing chess, should give you an idea of what this movie is all about. So
that's right in my wheelhouse.
Definitely in your wheelhouse. And so I just wanted to tell you, not made for me, but I do think it might be something you should watch with some of your family.
What was it called? What was it called again? It sounded like you said Army of the Dead. That can't be right.
Darby and the Dead.
And the Dead.
Darby. Yeah, it's a Mean Girls, but one of the Mean Girls is a ghost.
Oh, okay. I'll allow it.
Yeah. Yes, and so it is. That's the thing that was the thing that I watched this week, and I could have watched Wednesday, and so I have that hanging over me. Oh, I had one topic that I just wanted to see, Kyle, if you had a comment on.
Oh, sure.
What if you were Henry Cavill today? How would you be feeling?
I as much as it's sad that they sort of like yanked the rug out from under him, like. That it was. I understand what they're doing, and I understand that it is the business and the rebooting and all that kind of stuff. It was a little disingenuous of like, welcome back, psych. But
for Tom, we should tell Tom what happened.
Oh, okay.
So I'm looking at him and I wonder.
No,
if he
I
knows
know
what's
some
going
of
on.
this, but why did they bring him back and then let him go? Like
that
what
is
transpired?
An excellent question, and I think it really comes down to change of management. Like they had to sort of
James Gunn
set him up,
or?
and they brought him in to Black Adam and had him do a cameo at the end of Black Adam, setting up like, hey, he's back, and then he got to make a big announcement saying, "That's right, I just had a conversation. I'm back as Superman. Like, we're working on stuff right now. We're going to announce it, next year. It's going to be great." And then during that time, a regime change happened, and basically, they're in nature, when a new lion takes over the pride, the first thing it does is kill the kittens of the previous person who ran it, and that's what's happening now. So sadly, all of the previous, and at this point, I was talking about this actually with a friend of the show, Rob Cabasco, today. That pretty much anything connected to the Snyderverse is Dead Man Walking. I mean, at this point, there's we get another Aquaman movie coming out, which will be the last Aquaman movie of of Jason Momoa's. That we get a Flash movie, that will be the last time we'll see that Flash. At this point, by the end of 2023, Peacemaker will be the only thing still connected to the Snyderverse. All contracts will be done. I mean, like it's a weird time that there's a couple of major studio releases still on the shelf, have not come out yet, and they're essentially zombies.
Wow.
But back to your question, Henry Cavill. I think after the initial thing of like, oh man, I really wanted to, but now I didn't get to. I think he has just become the hottest free agent in Hollywood, because if Kevin Feige isn't blowing up his phone right now, he has missed the boat, because right now Henry Cavill has a wide open schedule and he is a hot commodity. So like any franchise big thing, right? And he is a nerd. He plays Warhammer. Like, he is a full-on nerd. Any of the nerdy franchises should be reaching out to him. Kathleen Kennedy, update your contact information. Like, this is the time that Henry Cavill could show up in any of those things, and people would go absolutely berserk. If there's not a major announcement at Comic-Con this year involving Henry Cavill, then everyone in Hollywood is asleep.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. Well, I felt for the guy, because man, get a cameo in a movie that wasn't that great.
Yeah.
And realize that
everyone says
time.
Like, hey, that's our movie. Your 2 minutes were the best.
Yeah.
You were the Dame Judi Dench of Black Adam.
Right. There is just no other way than to look at this as his Green Mile. And so it's fine. It's fine. All right, let's do trailers. Tom, you were first.
I was first. It's me. Hey, everybody. This trailer legitimately gave me a nightmare. I've never had a nightmare from a trailer before, but this one did. Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Skinamarink.
In this house.
I assume you're not going to play it. There's nothing to play. It's just a bunch of.
I think I'm just gonna play the audio underneath you talking about it. Do a real mood setter.
Just the creeping dread of that Tommy Hansen brings to the. This was this film filmed on a micro budget in his own childhood home. This guy debuted this film at something called like the Fantasia Fest. It was just this film festival, and it blew the doors off, and everybody couldn't stop talking about it, so much so that Shudder acquired it and is now releasing it in theaters. Apparently, the whole thing isn't really like a linear story. It's about two kids wake up and all of the windows and doors are missing in their house, and the whole thing is just this dream nightmare when they wander around and there's something maybe in the house that's benevolent. Wait, benevolent, does that mean bad or good?
No, that's good.
Benevolence,
that's good.
Malevolent, I think.
Malevolent. It seems important for me to get that right. The tooth fairy's upstairs.
Grant you all your wishes.
And they say
I guess I don't need doors and windows.
They say that it really evokes like childhood fear, and that's something that I really grew up with. When I wasn't trying to scare myself, I also had like a lot of trouble in the dark and getting to sleep and stuff. And it's supposed to really be like that. And some people will find it incredibly boring, apparently, and some people cannot get it out of their minds. It also blew up on a lot of TikTokers are talking about it. They cleverly gave it to a bunch of TikTok influencers who are now talking about how they can't think about anything else. What did you guys think? Was it interesting? It's certainly the weirdest trailer that I've put up.
It's very Tommy. It's very Tommy.
It was very Tom.
Yeah, I think it's interesting that there's sort of like it's interesting to sort of track what the worry and fears are of the the culture by what is showing up in horror movies. So I find this is interesting because we're just coming out of a place where all of us were trapped inside for a year or so. And now you have a horror movie where they're trapped inside. And it's like,
right.
Oh, okay, interesting. Like, I'm sure you can probably write a pretty good paper on this or whatever.
Yeah.
It's just like, I like to armchair a lot of it. But interesting because the other thing I thought of was there's that, it was like I guess a short video thing that was going around that about like corridors or whatever, where it was like it was like a viral video basically of a guy who had fallen into a thing, and he was in an office building essentially, but there was no door, there was no offices, there was no exit. He's just wandering around, and every once in a while you just spot something out of the corner of your eye, and so it's like this really, and that like that, I'm like that. Oh, it's that same vibe. It's that same it's the liminal space thing of like where you wouldn't, as opposed to like the haunt, like the abandoned mill or like the crypt or whatever. Now it's just like it's your house,
right?
And something is here.
Right.
I find it interesting that that's where the new sort of space of horror is. It's like it's you don't have to go anywhere; it's coming to you.
Right.
I hated it. I hated everything about it, and I hated you while I was watching it. So I don't know. I mean, is that clear? Right. It was. Yeah. I mean, you're absolutely right. It was legitimately terrifying, nightmare fuel, and just regret. That's what I got out of this trailer. I can't remember the last time a trailer has been so messed up in my head. Like, it just deeply
feels
dissociative.
Haunted. And I don't mean like
really
I mean the trailer itself feels haunted, and with its throwback, and it's one of those movies apparently where he'll just shoot at an underexposed doorway, even though there's no doors, for like a while, and your mind, some reviewers have said, you start like creating shapes because you have to.
Yeah.
Like the kind of thing that you do like in those Paranormal Activity movies, when you're just sort of blurring your eyes to see if anything is going to jump out, and there's a lot of that in there, but without the jumping out, apparently.
Yeah. It's incredibly compelling and visceral, like filmmaking. You can tell this is a person who has a real vision for the kinds of films. So, like, this feels like burgeoning auteur stuff. You know what I mean? Like, this is deeply serious filmmaking, and respect. But I might actually want to go watch The Piano before I watch this movie. That says a lot.
Which was terrifying in its own way.
In its own way. Yeah. All right. Okay. You're next, Kyle. Oh, wait. When can we see Skinamarink again, did you say?
I don't know if I think they've just said 2023, because Shudder, this has just really happened. So while Kyle goes, I will look that up and see if there's any more.
Before you begin Googling, can you sing the song?
Skinamarink dinky dink. I am hoping that if there is a sequel, it'll be Skinamarink Doo. Oh, it looks like January 13th, 2023.
All right.
Awesome.
Tagline:
Kyle.
Will you love me in the morning?
All right, Kyle, what do you got?
I'm setting sail for another destination, a little farther away than we would have liked, but we're headed back into the Spider-Verse, and we're going not into it, but across it, because this is Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse.
I can hear you being quiet, Mom.
I hope I didn't ice your game, man.
No one my age says those words in that order.
It's just hard to see my little man not being my little boy all the time.
Yeah.
You know, for years I've been taking care of this little boy. Making sure he is loved, that he feels like he belongs wherever he wants to be. He wants to go out into the world and do great big things.
Not bad, kid.
And what I worry about most
I love you, Miles.
is they won't look out for you like us.
Miles!
Want to get out of here? Wherever you go from here, you have to promise to take care of that little boy for me. Make sure he never forgets where he came from. And he never doubts that he is loved. And he never lets anyone tell him that he doesn't belong there. You gotta promise, Miles.
I promise.
Who do you think you are? Really?
We are supposed to be the good guys.
We are.
They seem to have dropped the number. Like they used to, like they last time they announced it was supposed to be a straight up sequel, then they split it in two. But now maybe the third one's going to be called something else. You know, Spider-Man There and Back Again. I don't know. But this is interesting. We get to see a little bit more of sort of what's going on. At the same time, this is not giving us a whole lot, which I appreciate. It's one of my favorite action movies, Spider movies of all time. I'm super excited to see where they go with this, and I like they're just giving us just enough. They give us a wide array of Spider-Men. We get to see that Miles is going to do something that's going to make them very angry.
I know. Why did he make them so mad?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I assume that he's trying to do something, upright, that the moral that is going to be very difficult, and they're trying to stop him from doing this, but he's like, no, this is the right thing. So that seems like a very Miles thing to do, and they have to try and stop him, but we'll see. And so there's precious little is coming out about this, and I appreciate that. I hope that people kind of forget about this, that they're thinking about their avatars, and they're thinking about their quantum manias and stuff too, and this sort of sneaks under the radar and then just blows the doors off, kind of like the last one did. So what did you guys think of the trailer?
It's a pretty remarkable trailer to just sort of have this one long scene with this one conversation, which is not about fighting or jumping over things, with just this little, I mean, it felt incredibly unanimated. Like it felt very adult, and it felt very real, and it seemed like more of an Oscar clip than like a trailer, but in all the great ways. And I'm not an animation fan nor a big superhero fan, and I deeply loved the Spider-Verse movie. I thought it was just completely outstanding. So I'm really, really excited.
Me too. I like getting a little bit more than we had with the teaser. I think the teaser was even more of what Tom just described. It was just that weird conversation in his bedroom, and I just thought, that's a weird teaser. Why are you giving us that teaser? I need more than that. I didn't need, this is a movie I didn't need a teaser for, frankly. Like, I don't need to be teased. I'm ready, like now. Right. I will give you my money anyway. And so I really liked this one. And I think just setting up that everybody's so mad at Miles is such a perfect Spider-Man trope. That I thought I think they did very, very well. So I've watched it a couple times. I like it very much every time I watch it. And I'm with Tom. I cannot wait for this movie. It's one of the ones I'm looking forward to the most of upcoming flicks.
And you'll have to wait, unfortunately, until June 2nd is when this is scheduled to drop. And I believe then we don't get the next one until the next year. So I hope that they don't end on a cliffhanger.
Well, that's a lot more time for Skinamarink.
That's true.
Can I do my trailer?
Please.
You guys, I really miss traveling. I haven't been traveling enough, and I saw the title and I said, that's a place I want to visit too. I want to go see Infinity Pool.
I don't understand why we're doing this. We barely know these people.
It's one day. Let's mix things up a bit.
You're just happy you found your fan club.
I've been waiting 6 years for your second book. Is it coming out soon?
I'm working on it.
What do you do for money then?
You married rich.
I actually came here looking for inspiration. Come on.
Mr. James Foster, you'll have to come with us.
Here, the punishment for any crime committed
is death.
What did you say?
But for a significant sum, we'll build a double to stand in for your execution.
Double.
Looks just like her.
Maybe think of it as a gift. It's like a new skin working into place. It's for you to complete your transformation.
This is just a little game.
But I can take some blood. Show me how strong you are.
It's really disgusting. You could just sit there and watch it happen.
You know, James, do you worry they got the wrong man?
All right. This is that was a joke. I don't really want to go here. Nobody who would want to go here except Mia Goth and Skarsgård. Am I right? Like the perfect people to go to this horrible, horrible place. This is a couple. They're on a great beach vacation in La Tolca, which is a lovely fictional place, and a horrible thing happens, and then they get to meet the locals, and the locals are not good people, y'all. They are not good people. A couple of things interest me about this. First of all, Mia Goth is really, really kind of cornering the market on these kind of weird women characters and in subversively violent films. So I'm just curious about her and the choices she makes. Alexander Skarsgård, you know, he's a guy who goes to award shows without pants. Like, of course he's going to end up in a movie like this. I think there are a lot of interesting things going on here. Visually, it's very compelling, and it probably should be, because when the director is Brandon Cronenberg, you know he wants to live up to Daddy. You just know he's shooting for the moon. And I think this movie does it. It fits right in with our Cronenberg series, and I was legitimately creeped out at many of the visuals that they showed in this trailer. What'd you guys think?
Everything I said about Skid Marink, I guess never mind, because like this seems to be the opposite. Because like then it's like we stayed home. I made a good point, and then I watch this and I go, oh wait, never mind. This is about going out to a fancy resort, and it turns out that's terrible too. So horror
everything's
movies,
terrible.
Don't go anywhere.
Yes.
I know that's also is sort of in the culture now, because we got White Lotus and we've got, you know, all these things about like, no, go to the place of your dreams, but it's a nightmare. But once again, it's interesting to see these people, like, once again, Mia Goth is sort of like getting a reputation as the new Scream Queen of like follow her and you're gonna get weirded out. But yeah, it'd be interesting to see sort of like what it comes down to is like how far is it that like how far are they willing to go? There's also some weird interesting thing of like the native kind of things, like there's a little imperialism there, and I'm kind of curious to see how they're going to play with that. But I don't know. What do you think, Tommy?
I was so excited for it until I saw that it was Brandon Cronenberg. only because he's too much into body horror stuff, and I just don't really like that. I know I just waxed rhapsodic about Bones and All and things like that, but I just don't like gross. Like, I haven't seen Cronenberg's last couple movies. I mean, David Cronenberg's last couple movies. I don't like that kind of invasion and twisting of flesh and stuff. And so I'm kind of scared away from it, which is weird for me.
Yeah.
But I'm just kind of,
for you.
I don't want to just sort of be hiding my eyes the entire time. So I would need someone else to go see it first and then tell me, you know, how is it on the body horror from like from the Brood to Videodrome or some sort of
scale
weird
of fingernails to eyeballs. Tell me where we're at.
Yeah.
I don't even need to know. You need somebody to tell you. I think
It's just going to be.
it's enough. It's in the trailer. It's enough. I feel like it's going down that road. What's so funny about that is we did our Cronenberg series, and I mean, some of the films in that series are legit 5-star movies for me. That some of that body horror, the Rabbids and the Videodrome, and like I really enjoyed my time with those movies, as weird as they are. Scanners, and I think they are saying so much. And I feel like so much of what I've learned about how to talk about horror movies, I've learned from you and used talking about these movies, and you should like them more as a result, Tom. I feel like that's it is curious to me. It is curious to me that you don't truck in them as much as you do. I think back to Mia Goth real quick. I mean, how many Mia Goth movies have you seen that are do you have a sense for her catalog off the dome?
Yeah.
I can rally some off for you.
I saw her very first one. I remember the first time I saw her. Maybe it was her first. The Curse of the Wellness? No.
A Cure for Wellness. That was a big one, but she was first she was in Future Unlimited Haunted Love in 2013, but that was a music video. She was in The Tunnel, which was a TV series, 3 episodes. But you might have it sounds like you didn't see her in Lars von Trier's part 2 of his epic Nymphomaniac.
Oh no, I never saw that.
Another kind of body horror.
Yeah, pretty much. So she was in that. She was in Magpie, The Survivalist, Everest, Wallander, a TV series, and then A Cure for Wellness. So she had been very busy before that. But Marrowbone, Suspiria, the remake.
Saw that.
High Life. She was in High Life. The Staggering Girl, which I did not see. That was a short. She was in Emma, which was a weird pick for her. And then Mayday, The House, X, Pearl. And she's got, of course, Sweet Dreams, Maxine, the Triple X sequel, and Infinity Pool upcoming. So she has just made interesting choices. She hangs out with a fascinating group. So I'm actually, I can say without qualification, I'm very curious about this movie. I think it's going to be just straight up weird. When can you see it? It's 2023 sometime. I think it is, if IMDb, the worst, slowest website on the internet, January 2023 at Sundance. It looks like we might get it. Sweden gets it in March, so we might get it sometime around
looking
March,
for
April,
a distribution deal.
Yeah, looking for a deal. So that's what we got. Do you want to play a game?
Hooray!
Oh, you know what game it is, too. You know what game it is, given the day that this is, given who I am.
Does it start with a D?
What I'm capable of producing and others.
No. Oh, no.
Diabolical.
Okay.
Welcome to the Diabolical. A Diabolical is a fun-filled improvisational theater game in which I offer you, Tom and or Kyle, clues or objectives for you to get your opponent to say aloud. But here's how it works. Not only do I want you to get them to guess the title of a movie, I want you to get them to guess the title of a movie by giving them clues using the character and voice of another actor or character in another different movie. So it is a bloomin' onion of improv and spectacle, and you both have played it multiple times, and I just always delight in getting you back into the saddle. Who would like to go first?
You said getting us back. That seems like
it seems punitive,
like revenge.
Kyle goes first.
Okay.
Kyle goes first. Kyle spoke first. That's the rule.
Malevolent, not benevolent. Benevolent, I still
he's maleficent.
Yeah.
All right, Kyle, your first clue is impossible.
Masochistic. Oh boy. Oh.
Yeah.
Wow.
You can get into character if you want.
Like, you're supposed to start at level 1 and move up to level 3.
No. You are an expert player. You are an expert player.
Well, we're starting at expert level? Okay. When I play God of War, I played it on story mode.
Story mode. That's what you want? He's
I
diabolical
like to set
story
down my
mode?
controller during the fights and just
Yeah.
like, no, he'll handle it.
Kyle's playing God of Brunch.
Yeah, that's right.
Ready?
Okay.
Go.
So what you got here is sort of a fantasy world, but not one that you'd think and what you'd expect, because a lot of them are based on the theism and things. But this is more of a atheism sort of vibe to it. It's a lot of people with animals that sort of run around. Part of their souls can come out, and it makes things a little confusing about who's who and what's what. But it's been adapted a couple of times. We have some feature film that. It's only went maybe one, but once it moved to the streaming service, it got a lot better.
Animals and souls.
I think you'll find that the mystery is what's Lin-Manuel Miranda doing in this show?
Oh, okay. Hold on. Are you by chance Benoit Blanc?
I am.
Okay, from Knives Out and Glass Onion. That was outstanding. But you're talking about it was a movie and then it went to streaming and it's animals running around with their souls.
Yeah. See, I'm glad that with the terminology have helped. I don't know. I don't really know all of the stuff.
Animals with their souls.
I know there's a mystical little dingus that everybody uses to try and navigate through stuff, but to tell you what that is would be to give away the entire name of the thing that I'm trying to get you to say.
I get it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've given you way too much time.
I'm so sorry.
You did. I'm
sure you did great, but I don't know what animals and souls are. What is it?
That is a +2, not 3.
Yep.
Yeah.
The movie he was trying to get you to say was The Golden Compass.
Oh, I don't know what that is.
There you go.
I don't even think that that's a movie.
Okay, good. So that wasn't a movie.
Okay, is that one of those
that's His Dark Materials? That's the series.
Oh, I've heard of that. Oh, it's one of those.
Yeah,
got it.
Right.
Okay, well, you did excellent. I let you down.
Did. The portrayal was exceptional.
So was the connection was it that Daniel Craig was he a thing in Golden Compass? Was he a voice or whatever?
He Daniel Craig was in the Golden Compass, the movie.
Yeah. Oh, I didn't know that. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Okay. And then Nicole Kidman?
Nicole Kidman.
And then Ian McKellen. I'm trying to think of like this.
Look at you. What are you doing?
That's it.
That's dumb show. You're a trivia
out.
mastermind.
That's all I know. I watched that movie once and was like, oh.
Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. That was a movie that was made to not get a sequel.
That's right. That's right.
Here we go. Tom, for you.
I know.
This is where we find out how few movies I've seen in the last couple of years.
This is going to be rough. Okay. Okay. All right. So
delighted by this one.
Do you need to shut off your mic to get into character?
Oh right.
Again?
Oh, that's right. Because I need to.
That's your method.
Method, you know. I'm just gonna go because I legit don't know how it sounds at all. I do not remember, but I'm gonna still go for it. I'm gonna give better context clues.
Okay.
So don't lean in too much with the tone of voice that I'm using because I literally do not know how it's just more what I'm saying.
Okay.
I just got done eating after midnight. Oh, I'm so smart now. And now that I'm all wet and eating after midnight, I have to go sail around the universe with this dog man who I think used to be a part of a dance team. Is that who was in this movie? I think that was what it was. And, the directors, no, I won't go that way. So there's a dog man, and then the dog man helps this woman find out that she's like a queen or something, and then she goes to like a wedding, and then they go to another wedding because this movie is just aimless. Oh, I'm so smart and wet, and there's so many of us. Oh, we're all over the place, and we're just taking over this crazy building. I'm so smart.
Time.
Okay. Yikes.
Did you end with "I'm so smart"?
Yeah.
Yeah. I've been saying I'm so smart a couple times.
Okay. So is he okay? So are you the Tony Randall Gremlin from Gremlins 2, the new batch?
I'd like to call it Tony Randall adjacent.
Okay.
But yes,
Tony Randall does the voice.
brain gremlin.
Okay, the brain gremlin.
But Tony Randall does the voice.
He does. Tony Randall does the voice.
Okay. He talks like real serious. Oh,
Yes.
that's right.
Yes, he talks real serious
but from the beginning, I was with you. I was like, this is a gremlin. I'm trying to figure out which one it is. So I'm glad you threw the smart thing at the end. I missed it at the start.
Smart and wet.
And you're talking about the underrated classic Jupiter Ascendant, right?
Correct. Well done.
Wow.
You took a bunch of nothing and made it into gold. Well done, sir.
See, originally I thought you were trying to have him do Gizmo, and I'm like, that's not what Gizmo sounds like. You'd have to be like Gizmo, like you gotta go way.
Gizmo would not, there isn't quite enough vocabulary to do Gizmo. So.
Right.
Okay, where is my
Gizmo
Discord?
and Jigglypuff, they're like right on about the same.
Yeah, totally. Okay, so Kyle, back to you.
Wow, it's like you know the small amount of cards that I have in my accent. I used to do a whole bit with this, but we'll see if I can bring it back up again. Okay. Oh man, I'm so easily gonna slip the wrong way. Okay, come on, you can walk this tightrope. Come on, man, you got this. Okay, I'm done to give myself a pep talk. Now I'm back in the show. Hey, here we go. Okay. It's a very complicated movie. You see, you have people that are moving back and forth in time. You see, but they're not doing it for to nice reasons. They have maps and things, and they're actually taking things that don't belong to them. It's very disconcerting. People should not be helping themselves to treasures that don't belong.
I have parts of a guess. Are you by chance Hugh Grant?
I am Hugh Grant,
and you're talking about time bandits.
Oh, baby!
But do I have to know then which movie Hugh Grant is?
I'm sorry, I'm late for a special event.
4 weddings at a funeral.
Oh my God!
Good work, Kyle.
Simpatico.
That was astounding.
Kyle does good work.
I've not done my Hugh Grant impression in so long. I didn't know he was still in there.
Wow.
If I was to try a Hugh Grant impression, it would sound exactly like Brain Gremlin.
Tommy, I'm sending you another clue, and I look forward to hearing Brain Gremlin again.
Oh no! What? That's not okay. Yep, and I don't know why I have to write it down. I'm just stalling. Okay, here we go. No, I don't know how to do it. I don't really know how to at all. Okay. Here comes me. I'm in the court. I have to tell you, there's this guy that goes to my school, and he's very sick. And we have to send over maybe the principal or something because he's having a lot of trouble. Someone that looked like him was in a parade, and I'm in the court, and court is in session because when he's not like writing his name on some sort of big water container, I'm watching someone put a banana in a tailpipe. I have not seen this movie in a very, very long time. And I can't even picture what I look like. I may have been the police academy. I literally do not know. But right now, I'm in court, and court is in session. That's a clue. Anyways, let's see. He's singing in the shower, and he's in a parade. I think he was Shake It Up Baby. What song was that they were playing? I don't remember. Time.
Okay. Well,
I will say there's enough in there.
Is there? Okay.
Yeah.
So I know. Okay. So he's talking about Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Correct.
One.
But I have no idea who the guy in the court is. I don't even know what court. Is it a basketball court? Is it a legal court? Is it?
Court is in session. Legal court.
Court is in session. Okay, so a judge of some kind. Judge Reinhold?
There's two.
From Beverly Hills Cop?
Correct.
There's three.
I don't know how he sounds.
I don't either.
So I just tried to give you clues about his first name.
That was amazing.
You could call up Jim Meskimen and say, "How do you do Judge Reinhold?" You'd go,
"Oh man." All right. Well, speaking
of,
we'd
say, "I don't."
Speaking of impossible clues, back to Kyle.
Okay.
Let's see if you've got all of these movies.
At the end of that one.
Kyle has one.
Okay. I've never went into this region before, so this will be interesting to see. I don't know what's going to happen.
Oh,
this is going to be interesting. So I've heard it's one of these things you've heard a bunch of times. It's like, but they've never actually come out the old vocal cords. So
cool.
We're gonna see what's going to happen now.
Okay.
Outstanding.
Oh man. Okay. Hey up. What did you see here? It's one of them space pictures. I'm not big on them. We don't get this far north. We don't get a lot of those. But this one takes place in the future, even though the year is set in the past. Explain that to me. I don't understand. Sorry, I'm having a little trouble with my greenery here. It's there's one of them talking computers, but like my phone talks. I don't know why that's so scary, but sorry, I'm just there's something seems to be growing in my. Sorry about that. Let's see. Where was I? I was.
Oh no.
Oh, I think something just crash landed in my backyard. Hold on.
There's so much in there,
but I don't. Wait, so okay, so there's something. There's greenery.
Keep going. All right.
Greenery.
It's like you want to get into the building, but the thing won't let you in the building. You just like, hey, could you let me in the building? And it keeps on. I don't know. That's why I don't talk to my phone. Sometimes they talk back at you. But I got that song stuck in my head now. That how's it go? Sorry, I got something seems to be. Where's my lawnmower?
Oh, wait. Okay, no. Okay, wait. Lawnmower.
Jeez, man. Let me go into my old comic books. These are horror-based comic books.
Are you potential? Hold on. Stop. Creep Show. Are you the Stephen King character in Creep Show that touches the goo and becomes all? But then you're talking about trying to get into I thought for a second it was maybe 2001, but you're trying to get into a building.
Oh no, I tucked him out of it.
I know.
Is it 2001?
Like he went there and then.
It is.
It's
2001. I wasn't looking at the screen.
How do you get someone to open the pod bay doors, Hal?
Bay doors. Got it.
Okay. That was Kyle doing Jordy Verrill.
That's right.
In Creep Show.
That's right. That's my
2001.
I've heard Stephen King audiobooks, and I was like just trying to how does he talk?
That's incredible.
It's like you got to have that phrase to lock in, and that was what I was like. Okay, if I can just hang on to that.
All right, Tom.
Oh no.
I apologize to all the people of Maine who have dealt with so many supernatural forces over the years. Then to have me inflict that accent on them, I apologize.
Ooh. Oh, I think this is doable.
Oh, I thought he was starting already.
Nope.
Ooh.
Okay. Hello, my droogies. Welly. I'm here to tell you a little story about a man with a color who gets on a stage and sings while separation. I don't know. I've messed it all up. Hold on. Welly. I got that part down. And droogs. I got that part.
Uh-huh.
And I haven't seen the movie in such a long time. I don't exactly remember how it goes, but I'm pretty sure he's a musician and he knows this girl named Nikki who's doing something weird with a magazine. And he's in a tub at one point listening to birds whine. Am I still going?
I gotta say, this whole impression is going like clockwork. So
good.
Okay, so I don't know the name, but this is Malcolm McDowell's character from Clockwork Orange.
Correct.
Yes, it
whose
is.
name I can't remember. and you're talking about Purple Rain.
Yes, and I'm sorry I said the word perp. I messed up.
Well, see, but that took me to Color Purple. So it was, it was the other clues that took me back around to like Dove's Cry and the bathtub and stuff too.
Oh, good.
Okay.
I'm like, are you trying to get me to Under the Cherry Moon? But no.
welly. That was so good. All right, I've got one more. Last round. One more in our round of 4. And this one goes to Kyle.
This is fun and exhausting.
Yeah, I know.
It's exhausting in a really good way.
Well, I hope so.
You put these things out there. It's like, is that a distinctive? Okay.
I got Judge Reinhold.
I know. Once I say, like, we're kind of in the same boat here.
Oh, okay. That's fine. Just say one of the words in the title, like I did. That really simplifies things.
All right, so this is the problem I don't really have because I'm rich. But the story about this guy who's got to buy a toy for his kid or whatever, and has to go all over the place. He's even have to match with Sinbad at one point. I mean, I don't understand. Why can't you just send your butler out to get it like I do? Hold on. There's a call coming in for me. It's on a special phone. I need to just hang on. Oh no! Sorry. There's a light shining in my eyes. I'm having trouble. What was I talking about? Yeah. You had trouble understanding this guy's accent. He kind of sounds a lot like Mr. Freeze.
Okay. No. So,
Vicky, could you get the phone?
There we go. I was wondering who was going to get the phone. Nice.
Was that too far away from the mic? Did you not hear that?
No, I didn't hear what you said, but I heard you say something.
Vicky, can you get the phone?
That doesn't help, unfortunately.
Okay.
Oh wait, I have a guess. But I don't know if this is anywhere near even a movie.
I'm so tired from dancing with the devil in the pale moonlight, you know.
Oh,
man.
Okay. So
do you want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Okay, so that's Batman. And that's Jack Nicholson, but then also Michael Keaton. At one point you mentioned
there's so much going on.
Schwarzenegger. Sinbad. Was there a Christmas movie called, I may be making this up.
No, your mouth was in the right shape.
Was there a movie called Jingle All the Way?
Yes!
That was it! Trifecta!
Wow.
Nice.
So
outstanding.
What were the 3 then? Because I mentioned like
well, that was it. No, it was Michael Keaton in Burton's Batman.
It was Michael Keaton, Bruce Wayne. I was like,
is
that a distinctive voice?
But then I came back and I said, you could do the Batman.
But then like Michael Keaton's Bruce Wayne is like, I'm Batman. Like it's not right. It's like, I want you to tell your friends about me. It's me, Bruce Wayne. It's me, Batman. Like
got it.
It's Christian Bale is like,
what's
going on? What are we doing?
Swear to me. Yeah.
Oh, Vicky, because Vicky Vale. What was
Vale?
Okay, got it. Excellent. Excellent work.
All right,
you did
last
perfect.
one. This, Tom, is for you. You're going to end. Yeah. This is the last one, Tom. This is the last one. I know you're exhausted, but it is the grand finale.
Yeah, you're doing 3 characters at the same time.
I expect you to really get into the part, really dive in and do it.
Yep.
Wow. Okay.
Wait, no.
Oh.
Oh, I was thinking of a different movie. Okay. But I remember that one. Okay.
Well, that's a ball game of a different color.
Too many things. She just asked, will you be my mom? If I say, will you be my mom? I'll be your mom. But we had too many things. Oh, you want to go for a walk? I don't want to leave this room. Anyways, so there was this movie that I saw, and I was always like, before I saw this movie, I was like, boy, I really wonder what Harvey Keitel's penis looks like. And then I saw this movie and it was like, hooray! Oh, all 88 keys of it. Oh boy, too many things. Okay. You're my baby boy. What else happens in this movie?
I'm with you in the movie. If you can tell me a little more about who you are, that would be helpful.
So wait, which don't you know yet?
I know what movie you're talking about. I don't know who you are yet.
Got it. Let me keep going. Now I'm in a scene and everyone's filming me. Let me see. You have a very large member. Too many things. Too many things. Yes, I'll be your mom.
It's uncanny. I almost think you were in that movie.
oh, let's see, it's New Year's Eve at the party. Let's just leave a gun somewhere. Okay, too many things. There's probably so many better things I can be doing right now, but I can't think of other things. Spill the wine. Drink that girl. Look at the camera falls right into the pool. I'm done. I don't know why I'm picking such
Kyle, if you don't,
things.
seriously, you may not have seen it if you don't.
I
have
don't
it
think
at
I
this
have.
point.
Because it's the Darren Aronofsky heroin movie, right? No. Okay,
No.
I'm stumped.
That was a brilliant impression of Amber Waves, aka Julianne Moore in Boogie Nights.
Oh, I have seen Boogie Nights, but I didn't get that was Julianne Moore. Sorry,
I didn't do a good job.
Good.
That's why
I didn't get that Julianne Moore. I guess I guess what I remember from the movie, I don't remember that.
That's a big scene when she's with what's her name, and she's like, "Well, I'd be your mom. I'll ask you if you when Roller Girl and she are having a huge cocaine off in like a bedroom, and apparently that's the only scene
Originally,
that
I thought you were Rain Man.
it's a better Rain Man. My apologies.
That was amazing. That is the Diabolical, and you guys did great.
Thanks, Uncle
dear.
Pete.
That brain gremlin, you can take to the bank. All right. This means it's time to talk about the list. The list was perfect endings from last week, and so we're talking about movies with perfect endings. Did you guys go down the road of having perfect endings, meaning happy or good endings, or were they? How did you define a perfect ending?
I have some horrifically dystopian endings, but that are perfect for the thing. So I decided that a perfect ending doesn't necessarily mean a happy ending. So I have a little mix of both.
I agree. I do the same thing. Mine ended up. I sort of latched onto my favorite last lines.
Oh yeah,
and so that's sort of what
too.
I ended up having as a theme. So like all mine have like a great final line that sort of puts the final cherry on top of a great ending.
Oh, I like that. Okay, all right. Well, Kyle, Tommy, you were first.
So I go first with this one. Yes. Okay. Yeah. So this is one of the most downbeat endings of a movie that I deeply love, that I've ever seen. So much so that when I saw it, I remember where I was. I was in Bellingham.
Spoiler warnings, everybody.
When I saw it, across the board, spoiler warnings. Oh, you don't even know what we're going to be spoiling.
We don't know what's going to happen. Just FYI.
Look at the podcast, like the notes.
Yeah, look at the notes. Spoil yourself, and then spoil. Okay.
So much so I was in Bellingham, Washington, and I was seeing it with my friends, the Smalls. And when this ending happened out loud in a pretty full theater, I went, Jesus Christ, because I forgot that I was with people because I was so invested in the characters and what was going on. And the coolest thing about it is that the ending of this movie is so much better than the ending of the original novella that it was based on. This is Stephen King's The Mist.
Oh yeah.
Oof.
When he's waiting for things, he does what he. Well, how much are we spoiling? Like, are we just talking about it?
I say at this point, go for it.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, he does what you would probably do when you're stuck in a complete world of cosmic horror. They see this gigantic creature go by, which is filmed exactly like in the book, where it says it's so tall you can't really see anything but its underbelly.
Right.
And then he takes the life of his travel mates in order to save them, and then he goes and he's going to be eaten by a monster, and instead through the mist, which is now rapidly clearing, comes a tank because civilization has returned. So if he had only waited 15 more seconds, it would have been. Yeah. So I think that is such a perfect. Do you guys know how the novella ends? Do you care?
Yeah, they just wander off into the mist.
They're just driving and they hear something on the radio. He hears two words. One word was Hartford and the other word was hope. The end.
Wow.
Like that's the end of it. They just drive into the mist. That's the end. And Frank Darabont wanted like a real hardcore ending, and he got it.
I think he made the right choice.
Sure.
Absolutely. And Stephen King loves it.
Yeah.
He agreed with it. And I think both of them.
He also loves the ending. It's his thing that
I think both of them had in their
here all week.
that they would. It was in their contract that the ending had to stay the same, even if it's
interesting.
Yeah,
interesting. I assume that you guys have watched the black and white version of that movie.
I found it after you and Andy was talking about it, and it's better. It's great.
It's freaking extraordinary. It's
Yeah.
so good. It's such a beautiful watch. What black and white does to The Mist, The Mist, is wonderful. Kyle, you are up for number 2.
Sure. So this was one it's obviously I started from pretty populist, and then it gets sort of more obscure as it goes down. So this one is a one of those things that you didn't really have a lot of big expectations going in, because it's like a lot of sort of low end things, some good ideas, but then somehow some of its parts comes out together. So we have a supernatural fight at the end. They've made the mistake of inviting the monsters into their home. Everything has fallen apart. Their plans are falling apart. They're going to be killed. And suddenly a hero comes in, crashes through the wall, kills the monsters, and says, "One thing about living in Santa Carla I never could stomach. All the damn vampires." From 1987, The Lost Boys.
The Lost
It's
Boys.
a great ending, and it's just like the ultimate. One thing I love about that is it like opens up so many more questions that the movie's just like, and we're done. You're like,
gotta go.
He knew the whole time. How did? And there's all, as even the rest of the cast are just standing there with stunned looks on their faces as like they hit black and the credits roll. I love it.
That is amazing.
Good choice.
That's amazing.
Schumacher,
What a
man.
great
Joel
choice.
Schumacher, when he was hot, he was hot.
My first pick is a musical number. This one is I find this movie. I introduced this movie to people, and they're like, "I don't get it. It's really too angry. I don't know why you like it. How could you possibly see this as a movie about a solid relationship between a student and a teacher?" And I say, because I'm a sociopath, I'm talking about Whiplash.
Oh,
and I
outstanding.
love the way this movie ends. That final sequence where he comes back on stage and ends up dominating this band performance, and J.K. Simmons and he find alignment finally after the entire thing. They actually are able, through music, to find that alignment together and actually realize what a conductor is supposed to do, and do it really fantastically. That is, I watched the end sequence, that last 15 minutes, more than any other part of that movie. I just find it really fantastic. So Whiplash.
The audacity to film the final double smile just at the eyes. He doesn't even film their full face. You just see the eyes sort of relax and crinkle. Like, good Lord.
Yeah. You didn't
it's,
like it? Did you not like it?
I loved it. I think it's amazing.
Okay.
I'm using audacity as like, it's the final image and you're about to go into that big crane shot and you just give eyes. It's so brave and weird and outstanding and perfect.
Yeah.
I love
outstanding. That means actually it's back to you.
Oh, it is. My next one. Oh, yes, because I made. Yes, I'll do that one. It's. I'll do it in 3 words, and you guys can tell me if you know what it is. We're not dead.
Monty Python?
Sounds like it, right? No, this is one of my favorite haunted house movies in the entire world. And it turns out that the people that are being haunted are actually the haunters. It's Nicole Kidman and her 2 beautiful children in The Others.
I was just thinking about the movie today.
Really? Yeah, when they find out during the seance that they are the ones that are actually haunting the house. One of the best twists I've ever seen in my entire life. And even without it, the movie is such a work of art. It's just so patient and beautiful. So I love it.
Oh, I need to watch that again. That's a good pick.
You do. That and Jupiter's. All right.
And then Don't Worry, Darling.
Yeah. Really.
That one I've seen.
And I'm sorry.
No, I liked it.
I did too. I'm on board.
It has a lot of problems with it, but I loved the world so much. That
my main problem is third act. Like they're just like tense psychological thriller. How do we end this? Car chase? It's like what?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah.
Also, it's assault planes, and somehow they end up doing a head-on collision. Like there's nothing to stop. You can just
not a lot
turn. You
around
don't have
us
to-
right
Oof, okay. All
all right, what's your second pick?
Back to good endings.
Mhm.
This one actually that I'm so glad that I took a film class because this came across my path that I don't think I ever would have known this before. Once again, this might be a difference in translation, but I thought it was great. So at the end of this movie, it is a violent, blood-soaked movie about like a warrior comes to town and finds the town is being controlled by two rival factions, and he ends up allying himself with one of them and then the other one, and then basically bouncing back and forth, hiring himself out. And at the end, as the town is covered in bloody, dismembered pieces all around the ground, he looks around and says, "Town should be a lot quieter now." And then turns and exits in Yojimbo.
Jimbo. Did you see the remake with Bruce Willis?
I did for a few dollars or something.
I think it's Last Man Standing.
Oh, last
Yes.
I was saying, I know
Yeah,
that's
that's what it is.
some tough guy violent thing, and
Yeah.
it just like missed the whole dark humor entirely. Where it was just like leaping out of buildings with the fedora on and shooting guns. I'm like, no, that's not the point of it. Wasn't.
Yeah.
All right.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My second pick. I actually have a list of many that I liked, but the cheekiness of the last line of this particular movie, I just can't let it pass without putting it on this list for this line at all. It's a phone call. It's a phone call. It's a guy who's decided he's going to take a little vacation in a sunny place with a wide brimmed hat, and he's talking to an old friend and says that he wishes her well, but he's having an old friend for dinner. I'm talking about The Silence of the Lambs. That was where he's about, what was his name? Dr. Childers? Anyway,
Childers.
Childers, yeah. So he's about to have Dr. Childers for dinner. It's just so cheeky and awesome, and what a great way to wrap that movie.
I think it would have been better if he was like, "I'm having an old friend over for dinner." No, not over. I'm having him.
I'm having him.
Wait,
with
let
him.
me.
I'm having
Do
dinner
you
with him.
understand what I'm saying?
On the plate. So is it with him?
Yeah, my pulse didn't go up when I swallowed her tongue. All right, look, I gotta go. He's like,
call you back.
Dr. Childers is like already in a cab, and he's like, "Mah!" That
All right,
is
Thomas,
excellent.
what's your last
All right,
pick?
let's see. I'm going to do this one. This was, oh no, I'm not. I'm doing a different one by the exact same director. I saw this
That was
first
a real twist.
in college. Well, this was a twist. I saw this in college where they would come and months before the movie came out, they would release certain movies on college campuses to start get word of mouth. And I thought this was so much fun, and it's still one of my favorite movies of his, even though it is not considered a good one of his. But when Sean Penn holds up that T-shirt that says, I shot my brother and got thrown out of a building and hunted by SCTs, and all I got was this lousy T-shirt, when it turns out that the game was a game the entire time, and the whole thing is set up, and they still do it. He keeps up the pace at the end, and then with the love interest and stuff, fast, and then just does one thing where he's like, luckily you jumped. If you didn't, I would have had to throw you off of, to take away from the mountain of impossibilities of things that had to go right in the exact right way. But still, it is just so much fun. I love that movie. So yeah, that is The Game by David Fincher.
Yeah,
What
that
a
might be
great-
my favorite
that's a
Fincher
great pick.
movie.
Really?
it really?
Oh, that's
Oh.
exciting.
He's one I haven't loved everything he's done, but yeah, like that one has like just this weird dark energy,
Mhm.
fun, but also strangeness to it. Yeah.
Yes.
And I love that it all sort of comes together as opposed to like I like that as opposed to a Zodiac where you're just like,
Yes.
Can you?
But there are definitely some Finchers that are I think are higher on my list.
Sure.
That one I watched it again, and it dated a little bit
does it?
less well.
Okay.
Just the whole like 1% privileged
Oh,
kind
sure.
of
Yeah. The biggest
vibe
problem is like he's sad. It's
yeah,
like,
he's so sad
we're gonna
about
spend
his
millions of dollars
big
because he's
house.
kind of sad. Okay.
Yeah, right.
Got it.
So
Yeah.
anyhow, all right. Kyle, your pick.
It's me. Okay, so this is I'm gonna have to take a little walk on this one. This might be too obscure for even you guys, but it's like a thing I've always wanted to talk about in this because it's one of my favorite independent films. It's one of that from the Blockbuster era where I was just like, that's an interesting cover, and I would just rent the tape and watch it, and it ends up being one of my favorite movies of all time. So this is the movie. I'll say because I can't build up to it because you don't know what it is, because it's called Series 7: The Contenders. Now,
I've seen that.
have you seen that movie?
Yes.
Oh, I knew there was a reason that we were friends now. I love this movie so much. Okay, so the premise is basically like it was in a time that like Survivor was the #1 show and reality was taking over. They had it's a low budget movie, but they had the idea of like, okay, where does this go? Like where do we end with it? And so they posit that there's a television show called The Contenders, and the premise of The Contenders is they go to people that they have picked and hand them a gun and say, someone's going to try and kill you. You better kill them first. And so it's every season, essentially every series. So this is Series 7. Is Last Man Standing, and they'll just pick. They basically there's apparently a raffle, and they pick people, and then they just follow them with cameras around as they go, and they try and hunt down other random people. So you just have like 6 regular citizens. Like the one of them's a nurse, and and they are you're just sort of following them around reality TV style as they're going and trying to murder other people, knowing that if they don't, they will be murdered. It's such a fun premise and stuff too. And so in this sort of series, it turns out that the winner of last season, who was pregnant at the when she did the last in Series 6, is now the sort of the reigning favorite in Series 7, and now is sort of out in the world. And one of the people that's been picked is her ex-boyfriend. That they were together in high school. They gotten together, and now one of them is going to die. So it's this whole sort of all the way through as they're sort of like, do we team up? Do we, because basically if you don't kill someone, then the government or whoever runs this will kill you. So it's everything that takes place.
When did this come out?
In the 90s, late 90s, maybe early 2000s, but I think late 90s.
It feels like then the Hunger Games and
everybody
saw this movie and then made Squid Game out of it.
Yeah, in terms of like Battle Royale, I'm sure was a thing of it. But Battle Royale takes place on an island. This is like in your supermarket.
Right.
Like this is happening in your town. Like people are just like people like holding up signs as they're running around gunning each other down, going, "Woo, contenders!" Yeah. Like it's sort of like the dark side of America and stuff too. So I'm going to spoil it because but you can't commercially find it, but there are other ways to YouTube to locate this if you were really interested in doing it. So, but I'm about to spoil the ending. So through the whole thing, it's what's going to happen, what are we going to and then the lovers, and they end up sort of, well, I won't that part, but basically like they end up dying, like, so like it's like, oh no, we're gonna have all new like next season Series 8, all new things, and a surprise return. And they cut to, and it's his boyfriend who was shot and has survived, and he's in the hospital bed, and he wakes up and sees the cameras and goes, shit, and the credits roll, and it's like, oh, it's one of my favorite final lines of a movie of all time, because like
awesome.
It has this beautiful tragic ending, this Romeo and Juliet where they both die and everything, and then like nope, you got to play the game again. It's so good.
That's too good.
So
good.
Series 7.
I've never even heard of it.
I haven't thought of that movie in so long.
Actually, it has a connection to Silence of the Lambs. Because the lead
Dr.
character
Childers?
of Series 7 is the girl in the well.
Oh, really?
Puts the lotion in the basket. She is the lead. Brooke, something like that. Actually, if you, she was actually on another. You're going to have to edit this because I'm racking my brain to remember what the name of the show was. I Was There Too. The podcast. She was actually on that talk. She didn't talk much about this, but she talked about sort of her career. Brooke Smith, I think is her name. I was just trying to pull out of my head. I think that show might have gone behind the paywall, but it was worth it because it was interesting to hear like a sort of actor in a big movie who never really got to be a big celebrity, but has some good stories and stuff too. But yeah, Series 7 Extenders. I found it on the interwebs. And
cool.
Oh, I own the DVD right next to my copy of Exam.
Oh, you nerds. My third pick is it's bittersweet. It's a bittersweet pick, and we're saving it to the very, very end. My third pick is actually this show. the Saturday Matinee. We have been doing this show for a lot of years. It started with me and Andy and Steve getting up at Saturday mornings at 6 a.m. and doing the show in the dark and getting it out that same morning. And it was certainly a fun labor of love. It grew over the years to involve many of the hosts that have come in and out of the Next Reel and True Story canon. And it has been really a lot of fun for me. I love this show. I've always really had a soft spot in my heart for this show, but it is, for all of us, I mean, it's work. It's a lot of work. And the show, I think, for lack of a better word, it's not thriving anymore in a way that's giving us, I think, the return on that effort. And we have to make hard decisions. And so we're in a position of making a hard decision right now with this show. So the Saturday Matinee is, in fact, coming to an end with this episode. And so thank you to everybody who has listened to the show, downloaded and listened to the show, has been a part of it, who's been commenting on it and joining us in the chat rooms. And especially thanks to Andy and JJ and Chrissy and Mandy and other Mandy and Ocean and Ray and Rob and Steve and Steven and of course you guys, Kyle and Tommy. This has been just an incredible treat to have this show. The thing that I think has happened over the years since we expanded the host ranks is that all of us are doing other shows together. And so the purpose, I think, of the Saturday Matinee was really to spawn new creativity with a group of people that has, over the last 5 years or so, become a real work family here at True Story FM. So I know we are talking about a lot of other things that we're going to do as we move forward, new and different things, and it's just not going to be this thing.
But we are going to rank the hosts, right?
Yeah, absolutely. That's a part of the members bit at the end.
Yeah. By hotness, which I thought was a weird choice.
Yeah.
It's just a black marble, white marble. That's all we're doing right now. So,
and in true Satmat fashion, we're going to Series 8 it, and we're all going to hunt each other down.
Yeah. That's right.
I worry a little bit about my instinct to want to pick a list for the next episode anyway. I'm okay if we don't, but just know it's on my brain.
Sure. Well, I mean, personally, it was an honor to be asked to come on. I mean, that was a nice thing when we started doing Marvel Movie Minute. They asked to come on this, and so we had never, I'd never been on any other podcast before except for the ones that I had sort of hosted. So it was fun, and then to be asked back over and over again, much to the dismay of a lot of our listeners. And then to be allowed to host and then to actually make my own mark and make changes. It was a big thing. I learned how to host on this show. Like, I learned how to be a good guest and I learned how to be a good host. Obviously I'm still learning. I do take up too much time. I understand. But I have my skills have grown immensely just being on this show. And from a personal note, it has been fantastic because I would have never crossed paths with someone like Tommy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he can't stand me in real life.
So barely comes out of his house.
Show.
Yeah,
but
Kyle,
Olsen. Right. I mean, the restraining order has one proviso, and it's this.
Yeah.
So yeah, but I mean, being able to do stuff with that to run rub elbows with Ocean and Ray and Mandy, all these people that have been so wonderful to get to meet and to play around with, to not only talk movie stuff too, but also to play games and be silly and do bits and that stuff. I mean, it's been fantastic. So I am going to miss it. I mean, like with the listeners, next time we'll run around and I'll go, I already have started thinking, I'm like, next time on set I need to, or I had an idea for a game, like I need to. So, like listeners, we are also in mourning, but at the same time, we are also extremely busy and creative people, and so we understand that these things might happen. But I have nothing but fun every time I have been on. So I'm grateful that you asked me to be a guest, that you asked me to be a host, and that you asked me to be here as we bring the curtain down.
truly, the honor is mine for both of you guys, and I feel like it's been an awesome journey, and and at the same time, I'm kind of glad to get my Saturday mornings back.
So early.
It is for sure bittersweet. Bittersweet. With that, I have no news, and you know what? No plugs. So I think we'll play out with the national anthem, and maybe we'll do a montage of classic Diabolical characters. We could do Tommy doing Florence Pugh in Midsommar, or Martin Freeman in The Hobbit. There was that time Kyle had to do Vin Diesel in The Fast and the Furious, or Vinnie Jones and Lock, Stock, and Barrel.
Now listen.
That's right.
That was a classic. Let's see. Mandy at one point was Matt Damon in The Talented Mr. Ripley, or Matthew McConaughey in Dazed and Confused. How could we ever forget? Anyway, the parade of those who have come and passed is legion. So that I think is fair. I do have more picks to share, though, for the bonus round for members. So hang on. We've got one more bonus segment. Until then, Kyle Olson, thank you very much, sir.
Thank you, Pete.
And Tom, you will be missed.
I'm missing myself already.
Thank you, guys. And good night, audience.
Go do something nice for yourself.
You've been sat Madden. Now roll Skinnamarink.